Welcome to Soaring in Faith. I have my last best friend of the sisters here, and she's number 2.
Yep.
Yes, this is Yvette. I won't forget to introduce you. I introduced the others a little late in the video, but this is Yvette. Okay, so I may as well get this out now. For years, my mom, I don't know if it was my mom and I always said it different.
Yeah.
So I need to clear it up because even Tori came out into the world and saying, Mama, are you saying her name right? Is it Yvette or Yvette? And I should know after 46 years, but I think I've always gotten used to calling you Yvette because it starts with a Y. But what's the...
It's Yvette, but I go by both.
Yes.
I kind of like Yvette too, to be honest with you. So
Do you?
Okay. But that's what a lot of people say, Yvette, because
Yeah.
like you said, the Y is there.
Yeah.
But since it's a French, base name, then the Y is pronounced like an E.
Oh,
yeah.
so my mom and Tori have always said Yvette.
Yeah. Yep.
And I just learned after 46 years how to properly pronounce my best friend's name. Yvette. Yvette.
Yes.
I need to say it right. So it's been almost 50 years, y'all. Thank God we're here. But
Yes, I know.
I'll learn to say it right.
Yes.
Oh, so yeah, this is my best friend Yvette, and thank you for taking part in this. She and I are only like a month apart.
Yep.
Her birthday's in April, mine is in March, and that's been a blessing.
Yes, it has been.
Yes. How we met. So I already mentioned this in the video with Sonia, walking down the alley.
Yeah.
The aisle. Walking down the alley when y'all lived on, was it Ogden?
Ogden, yep.
Mm-hmm. And saw them playing in the backyard. I'm positive y'all were jump roping in that backyard. I know you were actually, but playing in the backyard, and I have fond memories of us. I know you were actually because I wrote it in my book. I had to really recall all this stuff. But I remember us jump roping in the backyard that one time.
Oh, yeah, you set it up right there. That brings back.
I won't go. Yeah, she got mad at me one time because I think you tripped.
I tripped over, yeah.
And I started laughing. I got goofy, man. I used to always piss my friends off because I get to laughing and giggling and shoot. Stop it, Dion.
It's not funny, but
yes,
but
that was beautiful. So I got to end up jump roping with them in their backyard after we became friends. And that was a blessing.
It was nice to always be outside. We stayed outside all the time.
Yes, we did.
That was back in the day, and it was nice. You could stay outside all day.
Yes.
And go to the park, go to the playground, or just do your own thing, your own games.
Absolutely.
In your own front yard or backyard. So
we didn't stand playing games like the video games. We played outside, and that was my greatest punishment was when if I got punished from being able to be outside, that was like living in hell for me.
I know. Come home and the lights come on, or or you're gonna get it.
Yes, yes. Mama would always say, "Be home before dark." I remember going bike riding with Sharon through City Park.
Oh.
And one time we did not make it back before dark. I think we were riding through that park, riding our bikes, and it was pitch dark, and we were almost home. And boy, I think I got it, and I got punished.
Yeah.
So I had different relationships with all 3 of these ladies. Sharon and I used to do a lot of bike riding together. It was after I got older. She wasn't so much into me when I was 9 years old.
No, that's
maybe what was I? Maybe a teenager.
Yeah, a teenager. Yeah.
Teenager, we went bike riding together a lot, and then me and Sonia, we used to pop lock and do break dance. And I remember her coming down to my place with a box or a piece of board that she opened up the box.
Oh yeah.
And she said, "Girl, you wanna," we were practicing break dancing.
Yeah.
And that was fun. So then Sonia was my dancing partner, and that girl could still pop lock. Was it we had a little.
It was your book. It was.
Yeah, that girl tore it up, tore me up.
Yes, she did. Yep.
So so we had. But then it was another time too. I thought another time that
maybe there was
at your place over by.
We tried to have a old school party.
Yes, we had an old school party.
Yes,
that's what it was.
Yes,
was Greg in town?
Yeah.
Man, they talked. I missed my Greg.
I know. I'm sorry. Yeah.
No, that's okay. No, it's okay. It's all right. Yeah. But they talked me and Sonia into pop lock or just popping, and that was cool. That was really cool. But that girl tore me up, and I was like, I better stop. I can't hang. So, but yeah, so Sonia was my dancing partner, and this is my partner. Like, oh, I don't want to jump the gun too much, but well, what I can do is back up and just. I remember us dressing alike.
Yes, that was fun. Yes, in middle school, trying to be, walking down that hall with the same clothes on.
Yes.
Gotta look good in first day of school.
Yes. And I remember us going to, like, we would go to Jean Nicole's.
Yeah.
We would walk downtown and hang out at the stores down there. And Jean Nicole is where we bought our clothes, I think, a lot of times.
Yeah, that was fun.
That was fun. So you always wore blue. That was your favorite color. And I always wore red.
Red, yeah.
And yeah, we would wear our little outfits alike. That was so fun.
That was
I miss
fun.
those days.
Me too.
Yep, we walked around so early. Now, one thing I wanted to mention about Yvette is she was blessed to find a job. Like, she started working at 12 years old, and that was through the Curtis Park Community Center.
Yeah, walking downtown at that time and putting flyers on cars. I remember doing that, and then I think I remember doing some cleaning for someone as well. So yeah, 12 or 13 maybe, somewhere in there.
See, I remember you being, I know I remember you being, I think you started like was it, maybe you had just turned 13, but I always remember 12.
Yeah, you're right.
I feel like, because I was like 12 years old, how do you get a job like that?
I know, right?
Man,
yeah, that's true.
For as long as you've been working, like, and just jumping ahead just a little bit, and we'll go into this. She's been at her current job for 30 years. How do you, has that been over 30 or 30?
Yeah, 30, basic. Yeah, about, yeah.
That's so beautiful. So when you look back to how you started working at like 12 or 13 and, fast forward up into the current years now, what do you feel you learned in the past that helped you become so committed and just land in a job that you would be able to be blessed to work at for 30 years?
Just, I think, first of all, trying to treat others like you want to be treated. So, like, being, ethical, doing your job right.
Yes, you always
being
have
trustworthy.
been. Yep.
Wow. Just, a good positive spirit, not, being like grumpy. I mean, if you're at a job and you're showing up grumpy all the time, that's something's going on. I mean, we all have our bad days, don't get me wrong.
Right.
But I think your attitude is important.
Yeah.
And just being ready to and willing to go, the extra mile sometimes if you have to. And just, being reliable, being dependable.
Yes.
And
is
willing to learn, new things if you need to. So.
Man, and as you speak, I think about you because you know what I learned from you that I was talking to Michael about before it was actually this morning because he's heading into middle school, and we were just talking, and I told him, I said, do you want to know? I was telling him how much of a leader you were because when I was in middle school, I was negatively influenced by a lot of the kids, and I used to talk about people, and I remember complaining to you about something, and I was like maybe gossiping or something. This was years and years and years ago. I mean, we may have been in our teen years or early 20s, and I remember you stopping me and saying, I do not talk about people. And I never forgot that, and that helped me become my own leader and realize I don't need to talk about anybody either. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, and I so admire you for standing strong, standing your ground at such a young age, and just being your own leader and you're representing, because that's how Sonia, Sharon, and Yvette, all of them have been very like strong, supportive, just strong souls.
Thank you. Yeah.
I told him about that, and I told him it's I'm mentally preparing him for as he heads into middle school.
Oh yeah.
And I told him you sure can't go in there.
It's easy to do because so many people, I mean, not so many people. I know people do it, but you just have to kind of.
Yeah.
You don't want to get caught up
Absolutely.
in this, what I'm trying to say.
Absolutely.
It's so easy to get drawn in. Oh,
it is.
This person's, doing that. Oh, did you see what they did? Or they're doing this. Just always saying something that's not really good. So
it has helped me. And I think people don't understand me to this day because even at work, I'll hear people gossiping about other people and talking about them, and I tell people, I don't, you're not gonna get me caught up like that.
I don't want to get caught up.
I don't want to talk about anybody. I'm not here to talk about anybody. I'm here to do what I'm being called to do here, or hired to do, and then but I see it still in the workplace so much.
It is.
And I think when I tell people that, they can't relate, and they give me this weird look like, you're not going to go there. No, I'm not.
No,
because I learned from my friend Yvette.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I mean, it's true though. You don't want to get caught up because
Absolutely.
At the end of the day, you don't know everything that someone is going through unless you have
You're
a deep
absolutely
conversation with that
right.
person. Then you might learn a little bit more about what's really going on. But to talk behind them and say things that you really don't have a clue about,
Right.
I don't do that kind of stuff. So.
You sure don't. And I admire you about that. I truly admire you about that. I've learned a lot. And so I wanted to mention that to you. That's not on that wasn't on here, but it was just, I was talking to Michael about it earlier, and I was like, I need to let you know, because that's a very strong part about you that I truly value. Like a skill or a gift that you've always had.
Yeah, and I learned, from you about being confident and.
I'm still working on that.
that's a good thing.
I'm still working.
Not to be over. I mean, there's a way to do it. You know,
like humble.
Yeah, humble.
Just remain humble.
Knowing that you can,
Yeah.
Yeah, humble is. Yeah, I agree with that. That's a big one too out here nowadays.
Yes, it is. It is. It is. It is.
Everybody wants to get the credit, or everybody wants to be in the spotlight. Sometimes, not. I shouldn't say everybody, but I'm just saying, humble is important. It's very important. So yeah.
And I think that's where is that humility and. That plays a big role in the confidence, because being a believer in Christ, that's probably more of where I lean on, but and then it probably comes from me making so many darn mistakes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I can't afford.
Yes, I know what you
Nobody
mean.
pulling me down, so I just sometimes you have to know when to walk away.
Yeah, you do,
and be okay with it, regardless of however things turn out.
That's
and
true.
I will continue to maintain that confidence, especially if I know that I have to sever ties with somebody that's not. If they're not living right, I'm not going to get caught up in that stuff. I just got to have the confidence to know that, I got to step away.
Yeah, step away. That's it.
But, and then, facing hard times.
Yes.
I think that's probably where a lot of that has come from too.
Yeah, I think so too. It is. Yeah.
Trials and tribulations.
Oh yeah.
Learn by.
That's so true.
Thank you, though. Glory to God, though.
Yes.
I gotta always remember.
True.
That's what I'm trying to always remember. I don't like to take the credit, but I really feel like it's where God has allowed me to be. So thank you very much.
You're welcome. Yeah.
So the early work program, you working so early, and then you were blessed with an opportunity to. So you all moved to Lafayette, I believe, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And then there was a lady across the street who called on you, and it was always you. You were always, pulled away from the two siblings. It was something special with all three of you, all four of you, even Greg when he was present on this earth. But something about you were called into the Big Brother, the Big Sister program, the Upper Bound program, to help out with Miss Mary, and you were the middle child like I was.
Yep.
And can you tell me how you got involved in all that? Like, what did they see in you that you were so blessed with so many opportunities?
I think just having like I said, good attitude.
Yes.
I think that has a lot to do with it. The willingness to meet new people and, explore,
Yes.
like especially with the big sister I had, because we went rafting and the mountains and did things, and that was a lot of fun.
Yes.
And new, but just I think and the willingness for to step out of your comfort zone, because sometimes you don't want to. You want to stay in your zone, like the people you've been living around all your life, but sometimes you got to step out and see new faces and do new things, and then have a determination about what you're aiming for in your life. Do you want to get up and get out there and serve and help others? Like Miss Mary, that surprised me, but she really needed help because she didn't have anybody to go with her and get stuff from the store, and then her health started getting worse, and then I really started helping her, like house cleaning and doing things in her house, helping get food, all kinds of stuff. And I didn't expect to do that, but her health got really worse.
And that was for you, how old were you? Like 12?
That time I was 13, 14, somewhere in there. 13 and 14. 13 going on 14, basically.
See, such a reliable, I mean, for somebody to look out the window and be like, I want you to help me, and you used to go over there by yourself. I'd go over there with you. I don't think she liked me over there too much. I was in my, so when I would hang out with Yvette and them, but I also was going through some troubled days then too. And I don't think she cared for me to be in there. I wasn't doing anything. I probably would just stare at her and then I would try to tell you shouldn't be going over there helping her. Cause I didn't trust
it. Was a little, cause like I say, stepping out sometimes in a zone is not easy because, you don't know, but when she seemed all right. And then she said, walk me to the store. I'll buy you some cookies.
And and your mom was okay with that, Mama?
Yeah.
She was good.
Yeah.
That's such a blessing. You all have been placed on this earth like y'all are angels, and I know God put you in my life for a purpose.
Yeah,
man, y'all blessed.
Thank you,
Miss Mary. I call her Miss Mary out of respect. Did you stay with her until she passed away? I don't remember. Did you all move? Was she? I don't remember much about it.
She also, we kind of moved. And,
okay.
But
so she was still there.
Yeah, she was still there.
Or anything.
She hadn't passed away. Yeah.
Wow, that's a blessing.
Yeah.
You all have blessed a lot of people. Tell me about the Upper Bound program when you first got started with that, because I shared how it wasn't until I got into college, and we're going to get there too. When I got into college, but you were part of the Upper Bound program at what, 12?
14, 15.
Wow.
Yeah, I think I was just about to turn 15.
Wow.
And I had heard about it. They came to the schools and talking about the program, and I thought, well, they got some, students in the lunchroom. And it's, that was for like people who've never been to college. Yeah, East High.
Okay.
And who had never been to college, but maybe wanted to, go. And, one of the first generation in their family. And to make it through
program.
Intervention program. And, once I got in there, I thought, well, it sounds interesting. I was a little, kind of afraid at first because you don't never know, but because you meet students from other schools and then you go after school sometimes. And in the summer, it was more of a full-time program, but then they take you on like trips and you meet different people and then you get college credit at the end. So it turned out to be a pretty good program. And just, learning new things too after school, getting on the college campus and walking around.
Which college campus did y'all go
Metropolitan State College.
Wow.
Yeah. Or now university, right?
Yes, university. You get your new degree if you haven't.
Oh, yeah.
And I need to order mine. What am I talking about? Well, we're talking about, it used to be Metropolitan State College, but now it's Metropolitan State University, MSU, in Colorado.
Yep.
Okay, so that's how it tied you in.
I got familiar with the school, and then at the end I also got a scholarship too. That was something separate, but still I was already familiar with the campus. And at first I didn't know if I was going to go, but it's like, I'm already familiar with this campus. And again, it was a good experience because in the summer they took you on trips. We, went to Estes Park.
That is beautiful.
I think Boulder one time, I want to say, but I remember Estes Park.
That
was fun.
Estes Park. Yes.
Beautiful.
I didn't start visiting there until, in my 20s. I think was the first experience I had. And I used to just look around like, this is truly God. It was so peaceful up there.
Oh, yeah, I know. Loving nature,
very,
right?
Yes,
so
very
beautiful.
Spiritual up there. I think that's when I really started becoming in tune with myself. Taking those trips to Estes Park. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Wow. So I was part of a program, Student Support Services, which was under the TRIO. So was it TRIO?
Yeah, it was under TRIO at the time. Yes.
Nice. I didn't know anything about TRIO until Student Support Services, until they contacted me after I graduated from college about the TRIO program, and that's when I found out.
Yeah, that was it. They had they help people, try to support them because you need that support because being a first generation to actually finish. And I think my dad might have went in for a little, but he didn't.
It's like my mom.
So,
she kept trying and trying. Yeah. We did it for them.
Yeah, that's right. We did.
That's beautiful. So what I want to share with our viewers is this special soul was the reason I enrolled in college. Do you remember, and I was struggling so much trying to raise the baby when I had Chris, when I first had him. And you would say, Dion, do you ever think about going to college? You know, and I didn't know how I would even go about that. But you talked to me about, you said, and the way that you said it sounded so juicy. And just, but you would say, you would always talk about Pell Grants. Oh, yeah. You were like, there's money out there that you can get. And I was like, but what do I do? And all I needed to do was apply. Yep. And I got in, and I got my Pell Grants like she told me about. I got, it was a beautiful thing, a beautiful experience, but I promise you I would not, had you not stayed on me, and you talked to me for a couple of good times, coaching me into taking that direction. I don't know, honestly, where I would have been without you pushing me, because I shared in some videos in the past that I barely made it out of high school, and my grades just sucked. And I had poor study habits, but when you were talking to me, I was desperate, you know, and I was like, I got to do something. And I can tell you what happened was I was working at First Interstate Bank back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
I had gone to, that technical skills center. It was Community Technical Skills Center.
Yeah, I think it sounds familiar.
It was down on Osage because it was right next door to where Chris was in a break-off daycare from the campus.
Oh,
so
okay,
it was like
yes.
a area childcare too.
Yep.
So where that was how I was able to get him in there, as I enrolled in that school and got accepted, and they taught me computer training.
Oh, yeah.
And that was a beautiful experience. So I graduated from that program, and that was when I accomplished my first accomplishment after becoming a parent.
Right.
Started down at First Interstate Bank, and it just didn't feel right for me. And I remember I was a receptionist, and there would be students walking through the door and standing at the counter asking if they could speak to someone because they were applying for student loans. And that's how I learned. I mean, that's when I realized how, I used to kind of be in the daze staring at them and thinking, I might be in the wrong position here, because all these students coming through this door are my age, and they look like they were having fun.
Yeah.
So that job didn't work out. And Bobby's sister used to always like pick me up and drop me off at home. Right. But it ended up not working out. And that's when you really got on me, and you were like, do you ever think about enrolling in school? And that I ended up enrolling and never.
I know. I'm so happy to see you
back.
when you
that
came down to the campus.
Yes.
I was like, she's here.
Yes,
so
it's because of her.
Yeah.
This woman got me in college.
Oh, thank you. And I'm just happy you did, because you really got into something that was needed out here. Human services.
Yes. Yep. Human services. That's working with people.
Yeah, working with people.
And I love working with folks I don't even see on the other side of this camera.
I think that was great. That was
It really was
for you.
Because I shared how I initially declared my major as accounting.
Yeah.
And I found out how much math it required and all that stuff. How many math credits I needed. And I thought, no, I just want to take the bare minimum.
Yeah.
I and even with statistics, I had to take that for human services. And I was like, I got to get out of this.
Yeah.
But just working with numbers was not always my forte. I love the challenge, but
But
if I needed to study it for a career.
Yeah.
So yes, I did that. I went through that testing, and I think that's when Student Support Services started pulling me through. But they had that. It was like skills testing, or what was that called back in the day? And they
I'm trying to recall too, but
it's they kind of have you go through some tests to see where your strengths are, and that's when they told me I was more people oriented.
Yeah, definitely.
I see it now. And that skill test really
it kind of matched it up. Yeah, that's good.
It really, and I was like, and I am, because I want to work with. At the time, I was like, well, I had more male friends, in my past than the girls.
Right.
So, you know, I didn't really see myself working with girls, but I thought if I have to, I'll work with girls that are young and pregnant because I could relate to that. But other than that, I want to work with the boys. And that's why I ended up working in detention centers after graduation.
Right.
But it was because of you that I thank God for you. So thank you. And I know I thanked you before.
I'm glad to be a blessing. Thank you.
Yes.
And I'm glad, you know, we're all these years, we're still
46 years later.
We still, God has blessed me too. So definitely.
I don't know how, but I tell you, you've been a blessing for me.
Just supporting and just caring and
we don't always see what we do, but we see how other people have impacted us.
Yeah, because life, you go through things, it's challenges, and it's nice when, you know,
we supported each other. I do remember some stuff that we were like, I'll be there for you.
Exactly.
So. We went through more of our own age stuff, all that support. So that's all right. God put us together.
Yes, he did.
And that's a blessing. We have those special friends. Man, so we talked about Big Sister, Amy. Oh, so Amy took us to the movies.
Oh, yeah.
She told you all that other fun stuff that you all did. And then I would never forget, she allowed you to select some friends sometimes. And I promised I was going to be good so I could get to go on the trip with you and Amy. I was screwing my reputation up back then, but I remember us going to the movie. I don't remember what I saw when she took us to the movies. But talk about how Amy being your big sister really...
Yeah, it was great. I mean, she was very adventurous and just, you know, kept me motivated to get through, you know, high school at the time.
Oh, when did she come into your life?
She came in when I was like 14. Was it? 13, 14. And then I knew her until she, you know, passed away. So we went way beyond high school. We kept in touch for years. It was definitely a good relationship, like
that is so beautiful.
Like a real big sister.
A real big sister. So did she sign up for a certain amount of years and then just ended up hanging on to you?
Yeah, we just kept in touch.
And she was
way
young.
after high school. She was young.
That was traumatic. I remember you calling me and telling me that she had passed, and you just happened to find out by her dad when you called there one day to talk to her, right?
Yeah, I got a letter from her dad. I got a letter and. Because we kept writing at the time, you know, we didn't have email. So, you know, we would actually write out letters. This was in the early 90s still. And we kept in touch till 1996.
How old was she when she passed?
She was 40.
She always seemed so young.
So she was about to get married too. So
wow.
It was very, very sad. So
that is very sad. So she was with you from 14 or 15 until what age were you when you found out she had passed?
I was 26. It was in my 20s.
So she was about 14 years older than you.
Yeah.
Man. Because 40 is so young. Yeah, like, I still think we're young now. Like
I know, right?
I don't care how old we get. We gotta keep thinking because I'm like, shoot, man, I'm not trying to get the
no.
I guess if I pass, I'd be like, well, I was old then.
I know, right?
But I ain't. Shoot.
Oh yeah, no.
Man.
No.
40 seems so
she
young.
Was young. I know it was sad to hear that because she was such a supportive, caring person. It's not easy mentoring someone, but when you really care and you stick around, you stick through the thick and thin with that person. Because sometimes you know how teenagers can be. They don't want to be bothered but you know she was really nice and just stuck it through with me and was beautiful. Like I said, very adventurous. Took me rafting and biking and. I'm trying to think of what we did. A lot of hiking, way up in mountains.
She really introduced you to a lot of stuff. Did you get to take Sharon and Sonia with you?
I think Sonia sometimes did.
Wow, that's beautiful. Yeah. Because I remember she would be like one friend, one tag along. Yeah, I was like, I gotta get my chance. Be good, be good. Yeah. That's so beautiful. You know, I was blessed to mentor a young lady, Sarah. And I got her when she was 12. And your story reminds me of my story with Sarah. Horrible, or I'm not going to say horrible, that sounds super negative, but a very challenging past.
Right.
You know, with a deceased parent and just a lot of stuff that went on with her. So she stuck around until she was in her 20s with me, and
nice.
She would invite me to go have massages with her. Like I watched the baby grow up.
Oh, that's nice.
And she ended up becoming a parent. Had a little boy that looked just like her, little blonde hair, blue-eyed.
Oh.
She showed me the picture of her little baby. But she, the last time we saw Sarah, so I was working with her real close when I was pregnant with Quincy. And then I had him, and she just fell in love with him. And he'll be 27 in April now. But she watched that baby grow up. And the last time I had contact with her was when Quincy was like 5 or 6 or so.
Yeah.
She came, Damon and I invited her. I went and picked her up, and we brought her over for like a barbecue. And then she moved out to Vail, and that was the last time. Like she called me because she had enrolled in school out there, and ended up sharing that I had really impacted her life. And she called me shortly after, and I was like, Sarah, you were so sweet. That is so sweet for you. And she said, well, you really are good at what you do. You need to be working with youth is what she told me. And that's when I went back to working with youth.
Oh, that's a nice story. But
it is.
I could see it in
just
you,
being
for sure.
Blessed.
Yeah, just being blessed.
Touch somebody's life, like Amy touched yours, and you've touched mine, and I've touched hers. I don't know where she is right now, but I always hope the best for her.
Right.
But mentorship is important.
It is. It's nice to have support and caring people, because it's so easy just to think about ourselves all the time. Me.
Yeah.
But it's nice.
I don't have no time for that.
Yeah, I don't have no time. That's
Yes.
true. But it's nice when people take the time to do things with you, support you, be there for you.
Absolutely.
Spend time with you.
Absolutely.
And guide you.
Yes. We just never know how many people you're touching. So go out there and touch people, y'all. And even just, I'm focused more on my family now. I've had a couple of people who are very instrumental in my life. Just leave me with those words of prioritizing family. So I've learned to do that. So I don't do much with the youth anymore, but I feel like, with what I have going on right now and reaching people to, in different ways, all ages now, all ages. And I'm really enjoying what I'm doing, because I feel like,
that's true.
The age that I am right now, I can offer a little bit,
Yeah.
but, just in a different way. Well, I probably can offer a lot.
Yeah.
But in a different way, but not so much just, we're strictly confined to youth.
That's true.
The youth population. But that's beautiful, and that's what I wanted to ask you, is how do you feel like Amy molded you?
Yeah, just her presence and just being a mentor to me, and
beautiful.
Supporting me through school, high school, well, middle school too. I mean, I had a concert, and
I did not know. I don't remember her being involved. I guess I do.
She very supportive.
That's
very
beautiful.
Supportive. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that you were truly blessed to have her in your life for so long.
Yeah,
all those years. So you got your first car, and she used to rescue me when I was a single mommy living down at Warren Village. You would come and pick me up, and I would be a little depressed sometimes. And I remember you picking us up and just taking us riding, and we would go downtown and just hang out and go to Woolworth and just like we did when we were
Tabor
little.
Center.
Yes, the Tabor Center. That's where we hung out. I remember
and the little
that.
cookie we used to get.
Yes, I still like going.
I don't know how much they were, but they were cheaper than they are today.
Girl, do you know Mrs. Fields? I still, whenever I have to watch my sugar intake now, but
that's true.
When I go with my kids, we still make those trips. I kind of pass that on to them. I remember, and even during Christmas when we would hang out.
Yes. Yeah.
When you worked at Orange Julius, we would go to U Hills Mall to go see you up there.
That
was fun.
That was fun.
I remember those days. She has always worked. Always worked. What about, so you've been at your job for 30 years. And do you, I can't think of the word I'm looking for, but based on where you are right now with working, just all of that, just you've already built your character up to, and you did talk about it, so I won't go back on it, but you talked about what's helped you as far as being ethical, remaining ethical, and all of those good things that's helped you stay at your job for 30 years.
Yeah. And, again, it's just the willingness to, work with people. Because sometimes we want things exactly how we want it, and we don't want to bend a little bit. You have to, work together. And so sometimes that means you might have to, you think something's going to work this way, but then there might be another way to do it. So not, like we talked about a little too, not being so well, like being humble, not to say that you shouldn't share your ideas, but you don't want to be like so pushy, that's not me, at least. I can't do it.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I think that's helped me, just the willingness to work with people too. I didn't talk about that as much earlier, but
that's big too.
And being reliable.
And trustworthy too, absolutely, yes. As an employee. Do you know, as you were speaking, I was thinking of when I worked at the county diversion program for the county. I was there for like about 10 years. We were doing a lot of team building, and what you're talking about right now reminded me of this book that we all had to take turns reading. It was called Who Moved My Cheese?
Oh, yes, I'm familiar. Yes.
That taught me so much.
Yeah, that's true.
And, because we all kind of get territorial in our own ways.
Yes.
And that was a wonderful book to really open up my eyesight. I went and bought the one for the kids, because you know how kids bicker about that's mine and that's mine.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
That was what you've learned throughout the years. It took me to read that book to kind of open up my eyes. But it's Who Moved My Cheese, and just to open up your eyes. Did you read that too?
Yeah, I think I read some of it. I think that came up in one of because I've had some trainings and stuff.
Yes.
That book came up. I know that, and
it's a great book for when you're building team cohesiveness within the workplace.
It is.
It's for the workplace, and it was we had to read that, and I thought, this is silly, but when I read that book, I was like, oh, I'm getting the kids book for the kids, because we all going to learn this.
That's
then
it.
I don't have all the bickering inside of the house with the kids.
I know. This is mine now.
Right. So what are your future goals, if you have any, that because you're coming close to probably transitioning out and into some new things? Do you have any? Are you kind of entertaining anything?
I want to explore entrepreneurship.
Really?
And I'm not sure. I've got some things in mind,
Okay,
but I do
good.
want to explore.
Yes.
And it'll probably be more like part-time work too.
Yes.
Because I've been doing 40 hours for a long time.
And would you want to keep doing 40 hours, or would you like to cut down a little bit?
Cut down some, I think.
Good.
And not to say I don't know how. I mean, I may not have to. I may have to work, but I want to do like 20 hours or something.
And then do your gig on the other side.
Yeah, do my gig, or
that's tight.
Depending on how some things shake out. But I'm ready to transition and try something new.
I like it.
And I have some ideas. I like to write stuff down
Yes.
and then go back later and see what I can really work
Yes.
at and get it, really bring it into, really have it happen. Not just, I'm going to, I want, we want things to happen. We want to make a difference, and you got to get out there and do stuff.
Yes.
Or do your own thing, like me, I've been it's been great working for people, but, it comes to a point where maybe doing something for yourself isn't so bad. Absolutely. Having your own little business, or that's not to say you won't work with people, but you know what I mean. Like,
yes, I do. Yes.
You can get creative and do your own thing as much as how you want it, when you want it.
Right. And your time.
Yeah, on your time. Yep. Yes.
Yep. And we deserve that.
We do.
We deserve that.
That is so true.
Now, I think, being close to this retirement age, is like, you get tired.
You do. Years of working.
And girl, you started out so early. I think my first job was 16, but when I worked at Panhandler's Pizza at the Tabor Center.
Did you work at Panhandler's Pizza? Yep. That's right.
Damon laughs at me every time. I say he worked at I love pizza. I've grown up to love pizza. But I worked at the Tabor Center, Panhandler's Pizza. I tried to get the job at the shoe stores, but they would never hire me, because that was the good stuff. If you could get a job selling kicks.
Oh yeah.
And they playing the nice music that I could dance to while I was working. I never got those jobs. I was cleaning pizza pans out.
I know, right?
And cleaning the soda machines.
I know what that's about. That was my job too.
Yeah, you did it. Yes. So the last thing is what is your favorite scripture? If you have one in mind.
I have, a few, but one that I always think about is, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son. That
John 3:16.
John 3:16.
Wow.
And that's love. I mean,
yes.
The ultimate sacrifice that Jesus made for everyone.
Yes.
It's just,
that is huge.
Yeah, it's a huge one.
That's on my daddy Jay.
Yes.
That was on his stone. He had that engraved on his headstone.
Yeah.
John 3:16, and it's ironic. Well, not ironic, but it was his name was John. We called him Jay, but it was John. So I thought that was pretty cool because he pulled that scripture from the Bible and put that on there.
Nice. Yeah,
that's a good scripture.
That is a good one. Yes. And there, 1 Timothy, like giving us a power of not a fear, but a sound mind.
Amen.
That also comes to mind too.
Yes. Doesn't give us a spirit of fear, but of a sound mind.
Yeah.
Wow.
And,
yes.
Yeah. Yep.
Yes.
And love. And so.
Yes.
Sometimes, in the workplace, if you need to, like me, I like to go out for a quick walk sometimes because in your mind, you can kind of clear out your mind, sometimes, at least for a few minutes,
Yes, right.
Escape.
But, it's healthy to get out. Every job I've had, I've made a point to get out and walk around.
And
release.
nature is so beautiful.
Nature is beautiful.
And
Absolutely.
You got to enjoy it. So get out and, get that walk in and just, calm down, because sometimes there are challenges. We know that.
Yes.
So you just don't let it get to you. That's where you're strong. You have to tell your mind that you can get through this.
Absolutely.
Whatever, challenges you encounter.
Yes. Yes.
Whether it's workplace or even beyond workplace. So.
Yes. And it does. Yeah. And when you incorporate those, well, I thank you so much. Those two, I'll get those written. Included in the title, and I have a beautiful short, and I hope that I can find it. I don't know if it's a video, but I have. I think I'll put some nature up for a short to follow your video when I post ours up. Nice. But I sure do thank you, and I love
you too,
and I love your shirt.
Well,
she's got faith over fear.
Faith over fear.
That's something that I've been working on because I'm learning to swim.
Oh yeah, yes, that's a good one.
Yeah, faith over fear, and just a whole bunch of things going on in my life where I've been having to release fear.
Yes.
So that's why even when you were talking about confidence, I was like, ooh, I'm not where I want to be, but I guess I'm always going to be growing.
Yeah, no,
until the day I
think
God calls me home.
That's true.
So,
yeah, that's a good thing. Though,
faith over fear. Yes. Faith over fear. That's a beautiful shirt you wore today.
Thank you. Yes.
Oh, well, love you all, and I love my buddy.
Yeah, love you too. Oh, this was so.
Yes,
this was good.
Yes, it was. And you all take care. God bless you, and thank you for joining us.